Welcome to the Bullvine Podcast, your go-to source for inside stories, cutting-edge research, and the latest updates in the world of dairy farming. Our 98th episode explores how rumen-protected methionine for transition cows can enhance milk yield and cow health. So please grab a glass of milk, sit back, and let's get started with this week's episode.
In dairy farming, productivity is more than a measure. It is the lifeblood of your business. Every gallon of milk, pound of fat, and gram of protein matters and may be the difference between a profitable and failing company. But everybody in the business knows that the transition period, which lasts 3 weeks before and 3 weeks after calving, is a critical phase that requires your full attention. Dairy cows often have a negative energy balance, which leads to lower feed intake, reduced milk output, and even health problems. This is where rumen-protected methionine, SRP-Met, enters the picture as a possible game changer. Imagine raising your cow's production without significantly increasing feed expenses. Adding SRP-Met to their diet during the transition may aid with this. Increased milk supply, higher milk fat and protein concentrations, and better total feed consumption boost milk production and improve your herd's general health and well-being. Continue reading to learn about the science behind SRP-Met and how it may enhance your dairy farming techniques.
Transition cows from the dry stage, late pregnancy, to early lactation. This phase typically lasts 3 weeks before and 3 weeks after calving. Cows undergo considerable physiological changes as they prepare for and begin milk production. Their dietary demands become crucial because they must maintain their health and produce an adequate supply of high-quality milk. Cows' nutritional demands rise during transition due to the energy and nutrients necessary for fetus development, milk production, and body maintenance. Unmet requirements may negatively impact cow health and production. One fundamental problem now is the possibility of a negative energy balance. This happens when a cow's energy output for milk production surpasses the energy she consumes from her diet. In simpler terms, it's like a cow spending more energy making milk than it gets from eating. Cows often have increased energy needs following calving, but their feed intake may not keep up. A negative energy balance may have various undesirable consequences. It generally results in weight loss because the cow metabolizes body fat to fulfill its energy requirements. While weight loss may not seem essential initially, long-term negative energy balance may impair immunological function, increase vulnerability to ketosis and fatty liver disorders, and lower milk output and quality. Furthermore, it may impact reproductive performance by delaying the cow's return to estrus and decreasing conception rates. Addressing these nutritional problems with precision diet design and supplementation, such as rumen-protected methionine, SRP-Met, may help minimize the effects of negative energy balance. Providing cows with the correct nutrition at the right time improves their milk production, general health, and reproductive efficiency.
Rumen-protected methionine, SRP-Met, is a carefully designed form of the amino acid methionine, essential for dairy cows' general health, productivity, and milk quality. Unlike ordinary methionine, which bacteria may degrade in a cow's rumen before being taken into circulation, SRP-Met is coated or encapsulated to endure the first digestion process. This protection guarantees that a large amount of methionine enters the small intestine and may be successfully absorbed. By bypassing the rumen, SRP-Met provides more accurate nutrient delivery, boosting milk production, improving protein use, and promoting animal health. This focused strategy is essential during the transition phase before calving when cows' nutritional requirements increase.
While rumen-protected methionine SRP-Met supplementation before calving may not significantly change prepartum responses, the true benefit is recognized postpartum. The research found that prepartum dry matter intake DMI body weight and body condition score BCS were unaltered, as shown in Table 1, which compares these factors in cows with and without SRP-Met supplementation. So why should you invest in prepartum supplements? Consider it the basis. You feed SRP-Met before calving, preparing your cows for a more vigorous and productive lactation phase. Cows with prepartum SRP-Met had significantly higher postpartum intake, milk output, and milk component concentrations, such as fat and natural protein after calving. This leads to higher overall production as indicated by higher milk fat and absolute protein levels at 21 days in milk, which stands for days in milk, and is a standard measure of a cow's lactation period. It's similar to sowing seeds in healthy soil. The more prepared your cows are before calving, the more milk they can produce once production starts. Furthermore, frequent administration of SRP-MET helps minimize the usual production decrease as breastfeeding continues. Early advantages in postpartum milk supply and component concentration provide a head start that can be maintained over time. Understanding and harnessing these early-stage advantages allows farmers to tailor feeding methods for the most significant long-term effects on their herds.
After calving, the advantages of feeding dairy cows with rumen-protected methionine SRP-MET become apparent. Dairy farmers can expect to see notable improvements in several key areas. Increased dry matter intake, DMI. Postpartum DMI increased by 0.45 kilograms per day, reaching a remarkable 1.38 kilogram per day at 21 days in milk, DIM. This increase in DMI is crucial since it directly promotes increased milk production and overall cow health. Enhanced milk yield. With the addition of SRP-MET, milk output increased by 0.80 kilograms per day, reaching 2.13 kilograms per day at 21 DIM. This increase is essential for sustaining high output levels, particularly during early breastfeeding. Elevated milk fat and true protein concentrations. The findings show considerable increases in milk components. Milk fat output increased by 75.8 grams daily, reaching 170.6 grams at 21 DIM. Similarly, milk's correct protein output increased by 43.4 grams daily, reaching 92.1 grams at the same 21 DIM levels. The concentrations of these components also increased. Milk fat concentration increased by 0.15%. In comparison, appropriate protein content increased by 0.066%, demonstrating enhanced yields and quality combined advantages. These statistics demonstrate the compelling benefits of including SRP-MET in postpartum diets, making it a strategic option for dairy producers looking to maximize output and improve milk quality.
Despite the initial boost in output shown during early lactation, the effects of rumen-protected methionine supplementation tend to diminish as lactation develops. This declining impact may be seen in numerous critical performance parameters, including milk output, milk fat, and appropriate protein concentrations, which peak in the early postpartum period but then decline. Why is this happening? Early lactation is a vital period when the cow's metabolic need for amino acids, especially methionine, is at its highest. Cows have significant physiological and metabolic changes during the transition from non-lactating to lactating. During this period, SRP-MET helps to bridge the gap between food intake and the cow's nutritional demands, resulting in increased milk output and better milk composition. As lactation progresses, these metabolic needs stabilize, and the cow's capacity to take nutrients from her food improves. The sizable initial response to SRP-MET is partly due to the cow's apparent negative energy and protein balance postpartum, which eventually recovers, limiting the relative advantage of prolonged high doses of SRP-MET. The drop in benefits does not diminish the significance of SRP-MET, but rather highlights the necessity for deliberate nutrition control over the lactation cycle. While early supplementation is critical for increasing production, long-term methods should concentrate on providing balanced nutrition that matches the cow's evolving physiological demands as her lactation proceeds. Dairy producers can explore a phase feeding plan to maximize both the economic and productive elements of methionine supplementation, ensuring that their cows perform well while avoiding excessive spending on supplements with declining returns.
Given the evidence from several research, it is evident that the effects of SRP-MET supplementation are much more significant during the transition period than throughout the established lactation phase. When SRP-MET is administered before and after calving, the immediate postpartum period significantly increases dry matter intake, DMI, milk production, and milk component yields such as fat and true protein. For example, after 21 days in milk, an extra 1.38 kilograms per day of DMI and 2.13 kilogram per day of milk production was observed, with milk fat and correct protein outputs rising by 118 and 92 grams per day, respectively. This contrasts with the moderate gains in established lactation when DMI and milk output responses are less pronounced. During established lactation, production responses to SRP-MET supplementation are often lower, demonstrating the reduced influence compared to the early postpartum period. According to research, milk component increments are much smaller during established breastfeeding, indicating a more temperate response than the transition phase. Such data highlight the importance of timing, implying that starting SRP-MET supplementation around calving results in peak productivity benefits that subsequently drop as lactation proceeds. Although SRP-MET supplementation is helpful throughout a cow's lactation phase, its effects are most evident and transformational when initiated during the transition period. This deliberate sequencing promotes improved immediate postpartum performance while establishing the groundwork for long-term productivity.
So you're persuaded of the advantages of rumen-protected methionine, SRP-MET, but how do you get it into your herd? Here are some practical steps. Determine the right dosage. The studies imply an average prepartum supplementation of 8.2 grams per day and a postpartum supplementation of 10.53 grams per day. It is critical to speak with a nutritionist to alter these numbers depending on your herd's requirements and current diet. Remember that too little may not provide the desired advantages, while too much may be wasteful. Timing is critical. The best time to begin SRP-MET supplementation is during the transition phase, which lasts around 21 days before calving and continues until early lactation. This time is critical for increasing production and reducing metabolic stress, so note your calendar and oversee your cows. Economic considerations. While SRP-MET has been demonstrated to increase milk supply and component concentrations, consider the expenses of supplementation. Compare the cost of SRP-MET against the possible increase in milk income. Determine if your organization can sustain these expenditures, especially during volatile milk prices. Some farmers have discovered that, although the initial costs are more significant, the return on investment is beneficial, particularly when considering fewer health concerns and increased reproduction rates. Monitor and adjust. Monitoring the effects of SRP-MET supplementation on your cows can give helpful information for fine-tuning your strategy. Monitor body condition, milk output, and general health. Adjust your supplementing plan as needed, beginning with a lower dosage and gradually increasing depending on observed advantages. Consult with experts. Nutritional practices significantly impact your herd's production and health. Consult with dairy nutritionists and veterinarians to verify that your SRP-MET program matches your herd's requirements. They may provide insights into current research and assist in developing an efficient and cost-effective program. By following these procedures, you may successfully include SRP-MET supplementation into your dairy farming business, maximizing its advantages to increase production and enhance cow health.
Before and after calving, feeding rumen-protected methionine, SRP-MET, has shown significant improvements in transition cow productivity and health. The critical implications of this meta-analysis include the following. In contrast, prepartum stages show minimal change. The postpartum period sees considerable increases in dry matter intake, DMI, milk output, and critical milk components like fat and true protein. Cows supplemented with SRP-MET shortly after calving produced an impressive 118 grams of more milk fat and 92 grams of increased true protein daily after 21 days in milk. Such enhancements boost immediate productivity and provide long-term benefits despite decreases as breastfeeding develops. Given these facts, including SRP-MET in your herd's diet during the transition phase seems intelligent and has significant potential benefits. Consider the possible increase in total farm output and the health advantages to your cows. Isn't it time to rethink your supplement plan and explore SRP-MET for the new season? It may be critical to the success of your cow's transition and the production of your farm.
Thank you for tuning in to the Bullvine Podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's insightful discussion. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. Catch you next time on the Bullvine Podcast, where bovine expertise and community come together.
Thank you for tuning in to the Bullvine Podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's insightful discussion. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. Catch you next time on the Bullvine Podcast, where bovine expertise and community come together.